Great day, attractive thinker. Dr. Toni Hatton here, stopping by to support you with being mentally strong. I want to remind you that we have 5 more months left in this year, and if you haven't created it now, when are you going to create it? You know what I'm talking about. Your dream, that thing that you desire to do with your life, that thing you keep putting off, and you share it with others, you get happy and excited about it, and it's been in your heart for a very long time. That's the thing that I'm talking about, attractive thinker. Is it a book idea? Is it a business idea? Is it something that you want to do with your life? We have 5 more months in this year before we're celebrating again another year. I want you to think about that, because New Year's come and go and we celebrate, but what are we celebrating? As attractive thinkers, we're always celebrating new accomplishments, new thoughts, new being. We're always growing and transforming and becoming, always becoming better, more, greater, smarter, wiser, more enlightened, have more clarity, more confident. I want you to think about that, attractive thinker. At the end of the year, we're always celebrating an accomplishment, some growth in some type of area, be it health or finances or business or relationships or your emotions or your thoughts, your mental health. We always promote mental health, keeping your mental ability strong, having a strong mental muscle. Why do we need a strong mental muscle? So that we can hold on to what we said we were going to do. We need a strong mental muscle so that we can pull that idea that you have in your mind from the invisible to the visible world. We call it manifestation, or creating a new idea, or making something happen, or creating something, or building something. We call it all kinds of things, but the bottom line is we need tools for that. We need mental tools to take an idea that you can't even see, something that came to your mind in your secret place that nobody else knows about. Nobody else saw your vision. They didn't see all the details of it, and when you try to express it and describe it, you're still not capturing the full essence of it. That secret thing, that hidden thing, that we all think about. I know you have ideas. If you're an attractive thinker, I know you have ideas. You have book ideas. You've seen yourself in the position of an author. You have this idea, you have this story you want to tell. You have these lessons that you've learned that you want to share. Something that you want. You have poems or poetry or something that you want, children's books, whatever it is that you want to share with the world. And you may not know all of the steps that you need to take to make that happen, to get that invisible idea out of your mind and into your hand as a physical product. And that's why we're here as the Attractive Thinker Movement, to support new and aspiring entrepreneurs. If you have a new idea, if something's on your heart that you want to accomplish with your life, I have attractive thinkers that I coach all of the time. They want to break generational patterns. It doesn't have to be a curse. It doesn't have to be a generational curse or a bad thing. They want to break generational patterns, meaning patterns of not reaching your goals from generation to generation, patterns of not being healthy from generation to generation. Think about that. How many generations? 2 generations, 3 generations, sometimes 4 generations of not being healthy, and all of a sudden someone's born with enough courage and clarity to take that leap outside of what they know and how they've been raised and break a pattern that's been going on for generations. That takes mental strength. It takes mental courage. It takes mental fortitude to actually do something that you weren't even raised to do. It's not in your DNA. It's not in your being. It's not in your mental thoughts, your emotions, your energy. It's foreign. You intellectually know that you have to do this, that this has to happen, that this change has to take place, but to have the energy, the mind, the feeling, the strength, the courage, the mental fortitude, so that your mind isn't going forward and stepping back. So you aren't taking a step forward and stepping back, so that you aren't talking yourself into and out of breaking this generational pattern, so that you have the strength and the confidence that you know what you're doing is right. See, that's who we are as attractive thinkers. We're trailblazers. We're not ordinary people. We see beyond and we think differently. We think attractively. Think about that, attractive thinker. So when it comes down to creating your ideas, it takes mental fortitude for us to do that, because 9 times out of 10, nobody in our bloodline has ever done that. How many authors do you have in your family? I guarantee you, if you have a history of having authors in your family, it would be very easy for you to become an author. It would be very easy for you to write your book. But when you look around to the left and to the right, you don't see any authors. You second guess your idea. Maybe this is just something, cool that I wanted to do with my life, or, I don't know, I don't even know if it's important, or, maybe nobody wants to read it. Maybe there's a book out there already like that, or, you be second guessing your idea because you don't have a model in front of you. You weren't born within that environment where authors were talking and you were supporting authors at book signings in your family, your aunt, your uncle, your grandparents, your siblings, your parents, you weren't in that energy. So it's kind of foreign to you. It's unfamiliar. You're wondering if you can do it. Not only if you can do it, but if you're good enough to do it. See, we as attractive thinkers, we encounter all of these emotional and mental barriers if we are first generation wealth builders, if we're first generation authors, if we're first generation entrepreneurs. Then we need tools to support us in doing that new thing. Anything new, anything you've never done before, anything that wasn't modeled before you, but you have an idea, you dream about it, you fantasize about it, it brings you joy. You feel like, yeah, I can do that. I'm capable of doing that. I know how to do that. I have the steps to do it, but when you go to pursue it, something is stopping you. See, that thing right there, we don't know what it is. It's an invisible force. It's a barrier. Like I said, you're in the process of breaking a generational pattern. I mean, this thing has been going on for generations. You know how long a generation is? And we're talking about 2 or 3 or 4 generations that this has been going on. Because see, a lot of times, let me talk to you about this generational pattern. A lot of times, you look at yourself and think something's wrong with you, when you need to understand that this is bigger than you. That new thing that you desire to do, it's not so much about you as it is about those coming behind you, as it is about those who are already living around you, that are watching, that need it. They're hungry. I want to say hungering and thirsting, but hungering is not a word. They are hungry and thirsty for something new. They're tired of the routine. They're tired of the struggle. They're tired of desiring to do great things with their life, but they don't have a representation of greatness around them. And you are it, attractive thinker. 9 times out of 10, if you have vision, you're surrounded by people that lack vision. And instead of having someone to share your idea and your dream with, you dumb your dream down just to fit into mindless conversations that have nothing to do with your dream and idea or breaking that generational pattern. I want you to think about that. Great day, attractive thinker Dewana. It is so good to see you here. Great and happy Sunday to you. Wow, Dewana Dobie, yes, is in the house. Oh my gosh. So we have a history. We go way back, Dewana. Oh my gosh, we got to catch up and let me see how you're doing. Attractive thinker, when we talk about this idea, it's important. I want you to understand something. When I started out creating what was in my heart, creating my ideas, it was like in 2005, I had this idea to write this book, to document my story. It wasn't so much to get it in the bookstores or to make money. It was really to document my story, because I knew that I wanted to leave something here for my children, for my family, and show them that if God got us through this, then whatever you face in your life, he can get you through that. That was it. I just wanted to leave something, a treasure that they could always hold on to it, go back and read it and pull something else out of it. Like, our family went through this and we came out okay. And if whatever I'm going through at this particular time in my life, if we got through that, then I can get through this because I came from this family, right? So, you know, that goes into the whole thing about when I say attractive thinkers are about creating, living, and leaving a legacy that continues to speak when you no longer can. That's very important. This is what we promote here, because what I'm saying is that idea that you have, it's not so much about you as it is about those around you and those coming after you. So one of the things that keeps us stuck is we think it's about us. And if you continue to think that your ideas that you're supposed to create in the earth are about you, you're going to continue to think about how unworthy or all of the things that are wrong with you. And that's how you get in your own way. But if you take your mind off of yourself and put your mind on the people that you're here to serve, the reason why you are here, and you put your mind on what they need, how people will actually suffer or do without if you don't produce, if you don't create. You've been given that idea to give birth to it, to create it in the earth. And if you put your mind on how people won't have what they need, that's how I felt. That's why one of the reasons why I wrote my book. When I was going through that particular experience, I'm a reader. So the first thing I turned to was books. Couldn't find one book on the shelf that really spoke to what I was going through. So because I couldn't find it on the shelf, I had to write it. And it was my way of giving back what was not given to me. I want you to think about that, attractive thinker, because when you write your book, there's a whole audience out there for you. There's a whole audience that's waiting on you. They need what you have to offer. And if you don't write it, they go without. You might say, well, Dr. Toni, there are other books out there. They can read those books. No. You missed what I said. There is an audience out there specifically designed for you to serve. Meaning, if you don't serve them, they won't get served. So you need to write that down in your attractive thinker notebook. That's how serious this is. We have to see it that way. If you see it casually, like, oh, you know, well, if they can get what they need from someone else, that's not showing how significant you are. And also, you're not seeing the essence, the real truth, the meaning, the fulfillment, the heartfelt energy and spirit and purpose behind having an idea. Ideas aren't just for us. Think about that for a moment. What would it be like if you just walked around and felt good about your ideas and did nothing about them? You just smiled every now and then. You thought about it. You know, you chuckled, or like me, your ideas are so deep. Sometimes it brings a tear to your eye when you think about it. You know, you're like, wow, that's fantastic and amazing. That would be so awesome. I can see myself doing that. You know, so what if I kept all of that inside? What if I kept the attractive thinker movement inside and never gave birth to it? How many people wouldn't be thinking differently or seeing beyond their current circumstances or thinking attractively? How many people would still be, you know, still have the same perception, still play the victim instead of the victor? Think about that. So I had to think about you, the attractive thinker community, and instead of thinking about myself in order to give birth to this, right? When a mother is in labor, she's thinking about her baby. Is my baby okay? You know, is everything okay? You still hear the heartbeat? She's thinking about her baby. She's in pain, but she's still thinking about her baby. She wants her baby to be okay, right? So we have to think about the solution that we bring to the world and who that solution is for, and what's going to happen to them if I don't do this, if I don't write that book. When they're going through something that I've already overcome and have real solutions for, if they don't find my book on the shelf, what is going to happen to them? My business idea, if I don't create the business and they need that particular product or service, what will they do? Where will they turn? Who will they become? How will they deal with what they're dealing with? You know, and it could be anything. The options and ideas are endless to what you can create. But to take your mind off of yourself, take your eyes off of yourself and put your eyes on them, it changes everything. It's a whole new ball game. It changes everything. So I created a 6-week intensive, whereas I can work really, really close with some attractive thinkers, new and aspiring entrepreneurs who desire to create it now, but they're still struggling. We have 5 months left in this year. If you haven't created it now, when will you create it? How will you create it? How will you overcome these barriers? How will you break that generational pattern? It takes a lot of fortitude and mental strength to do that, to break a pattern. And you can't do it on your own. You need support, attractive thinker. Think about that for a moment. How are you going to break a generational pattern all by yourself? When you're fighting your own, if your goal is to break a generational pattern, you're a part of the pattern. It affected you too. That pattern affected you too. So how are you going to break it all by yourself without support? First of all, any type of change, it starts inside first. You become a millionaire before you get your millions. You become an author before you start, signing books at your book signing. You become an entrepreneur before you even open the doors to your business, because only entrepreneurs start businesses. Only authors write books. Think about that, attractive thinker. You already are it before you started. But how are you going to break this generational pattern if you haven't already broke it in you? And to break out of something, to break it in you, it requires a lot of mental fortitude. It requires some mental strength. Your circle has to change. How can you continue to be a part of the generational circle and break the generational pattern at the same time? A whole lot of change has to take place. See, change is something that most people desire, but they want things to stay the same. How can you want things to change and want things to stay the same and not rock the boat, make waves, ruffle feathers at the same time? But that's the challenge that we face as attractive thinkers. When it comes time to do anything new, we have to go inside and restructure it in us first. That takes work. And with the support of a coach and the support of your attractive thinker community, you can go further faster. You can expedite your process. How much faster could you accomplish your dreams and goals and create your ideas and break that generational pattern if you have someone in front of you who has already done that? Who knows the hurdles that you're going to have to overcome, who knows the obstacles and the walls that you're going to encounter along the way. Most people hit a roadblock on their journey to success and they stop because they don't have the tools to break that wall down. They don't have the tools to overcome that log, that big tree that fell on the road that they had to travel on. They don't have the tools. So what do? If you're driving down the street, down this long road, and a tree falls across the road and you can't get by, what do? You turn your car around and you go back to where you came from. How many entrepreneurs, new and aspiring entrepreneurs, do you know who has done that? Who have done that? They go to pursue their book idea. They start writing it, and they haven't even gotten through the introduction, and they put the pen and paper down, and they said, I don't know what happened, but they call it writer's block, or I don't have the cure, or I'm not in the mindset, or I don't know how this is going to happen, or how this and how that, or where this and where that, where am I going to get this from? How is that? They go so far into the how that they talk themselves right out of their dream, and they water down their own fire. You start out writing on fire, then all of a sudden you water it down with your excuses and your doubt and your fear. You just pour water on your passion, and all of a sudden you don't even have the desire to do it anymore. You just water down your desire. That's why it's important to have a coach and a positive circle of influence, a community, the attractive thinker community around you when it's time for you to give birth to your dream. Think about a woman giving birth. She can't have any and everybody around her. What would an airline pilot have to do to help her? What would he have that would really help her give birth to a baby? What would a motorcycle club be surrounded by her, around her bed for? How can they help her give birth to her baby? They can't. They have good intentions, but they don't know how to deliver a baby. Think about that. When you're giving birth to something that you've never had before or created before, you need to be around people who understand what you're trying to do. A OBGYN doctor understands what a mother's trying to do and what she encounters, what she has to go through to push that baby out. And she's prepared. That doctor, he or she is prepared. They have tools. They're prepared. They bring out all the artillery. They're prepared for any and everything. They're prepared for a vaginal delivery. And if they encounter complications, they're prepared for a C-section right there at the same time in the same room. They come equipped. But when we're trying to give birth as entrepreneurs, and you're trying to give birth to your book or your business idea or that new thing, or travel or move, or, create something new, or start a family, or whatever it might be, and you look around in your circle, you have people over here that want to do this, and people over here that aren't doing anything, and people over here that are doubters, and people over here that inspire you and encourage you but don't have the tools to help you. I was coaching an attractive thinker recently, and she says, I've never had a person in my life like you, Dr. Toni, who get me, and you have the tools to help me. She said, I have a friend who gets me. She gets what I'm trying to do and what I'm talking about, but she can't help me. She don't have the tools to help me. That's as far as the conversation goes, is how she's in agreement with what I want to do. But as far as helping me do it, she's not equipped to do it. And that's what I'm trying to say, attractive thinker. How can people who have not been where you are or where you're trying to go with your life help you? I call them well-wishers. They have good intentions. You just can't help me. You're good. You're a good person. You're just not good for me in this particular season that I'm in, because I have to give birth to something that you have no expertise in. And if I continue to hang around you and rely on you and keep telling you my vision and the obstacles that I'm facing along the way, I am prolonging my success, and I am holding on to a baby, an idea that I'm supposed to be giving birth to. I should have given birth to it 5 years ago. But I'm not around the right people who can help me push this baby out, this dream baby out. So that's why it's important, attractive thinker, to have a person with vision in your circle like Dr. Toni Hatton, right? The attractive thinker movement, a whole community of people with vision who can anticipate. My son said something to me a while ago. It's probably over a year, maybe 2 years ago. And he said, we were in the car talking about how we give birth to ideas and the process of that and what we actually have to go through. And he says, Mom, that's why it's important for your circle to have vision, because they can see your blind spots. Have you ever been driving a car or parked, and the area that you parked in is very, very tight? The car in front of you is all up on your bumper. The car behind you is up on your bumper, and you're trying to get out. So you have to pull forward, turn the steering wheel, pull back, and then pull forward and pull back and keep working your way out. And have you ever been in that position, and the person in the car with you said, wait a minute, can you get out and stand behind the car and make sure that I'm doing the right thing to get out and I don't hit this car behind me or in front of me? They can see your blind spots. They're guiding you out of that spot that you're in. The only thing that you can see is through the front window and the back window. You can't see the corners. You can't see your blind spots. So you ask somebody to help you. So imagine being in a circle who doesn't have vision. They don't have vision. How can they help you? You will hit the car in front of you. You will hit the car behind you. You can't see your blind spots. And you're not around people with vision who can say, like attractive thinker Dewana, who can say, Dewana, hold it. You're in the right lane. You're just going too fast. And you're going to hit that speed bump too fast and mess up your car. You're going to hit that speed bump too fast, and it's going to shake your foundation and make you wonder why you're writing your book anyway. So slow down just a little bit as you get around this corner. Then once you go over that hurdle, that speed bump, then pick up speed again. They saw your blind spots. Or they'll say, attractive thinker Dewana, you're going in the right direction, but you need to move over a little bit to the left. Because I've been that way before, and I know what's coming up ahead, and it's best to ride in the left lane than it is the right lane. See, when you have the right people in your circle like that, they can cover your blind spots. You can expedite your process. You can keep your speed and your momentum. And every time you hit a roadblock, you turn to the right and to the left. Say, you have any tools for this? We got a roadblock coming up here. I don't know how to get over this roadblock. And you know how wonderful it feels when you're driving your car and you encounter something something and you get out of your car and you go in the trunk and you have the right tool to fix it. Or you see somebody pulled over, you know, on the side of the road, or maybe in a parking lot, and they're under the hood trying to fix their car, and you pull up and you say, oh, I have what you need. You need jumper cables? I got that. You know how wonderful that feels to be equipped to handle the unexpected? That's what happens when you have a coach in your circle and a positive circle of influence like the Attractive Thinker community. And that's why I created the 6-week Create It Now intensive for new and aspiring entrepreneurs, so you can give birth to your idea, your dream baby. We have 5 more months left in this year. And at the end of the month, we're going to be at the end of the year, we're going to be celebrating New Year's. What will you be celebrating? Or will you be just, you know, jumping up and down, hollering, Happy New Year, like everybody else? But what do you have to show for it? What have you accomplished in the last 12 months? Think about that, Attractive Thinker. Attractive thinkers are intentional beings. We're on purpose. We're clear. We have goals. We set aside time to create them. We don't allow our day to bulldoze its way through our life and rob us of our time and our energy. And at the end of the day, you've given yourself away. You don't even have time to work on your idea, to create what you're here to create. So I want you to click on the link above in this message and write down this website if you don't see the link, www.createitnow.theattractivethinker.guru. My website is always tagged onto the back of my pages. www.createitnow.theattractivethinker.guru. That's Guru. Go to the page. Read the content there. I have a message for you there. Register. Work with your Attractive Thinker community, me as your private coach in this group setting to support you in giving birth to your ideas. So when the end of the year comes, New Year's comes, you're going to really have something to celebrate. I want you to think about that. Are you here to break a generational pattern? I was thinking about that this morning during my devotions, and it just came to me. I wasn't even thinking in that particular direction. And I heard a voice say, it did not start with you, but it will end with you. And I gasped for air when I heard that. I heard the voice really clear. It brought a vision before me, and I saw it. I saw the dysfunction. I saw it. And I heard the voice say, it did not start with you, but it will end with you. That's what I'm talking about, Attractive Thinker. Breaking generational patterns because you're thinking about others and not yourself. There are other people coming behind you that aren't even born yet, and they're dependent on you to do your job while you're on the stage of life. It's your time now. The curtains are open. The light is on you. If you have an idea that you desire to create, and you know it's going to be a blessing to others, it's your responsibility to give birth to it. If you've been through something and you've overcome it, and you came out with your hat on and not smelling like smoke, you are responsible for sharing those lessons so that others don't have to walk in the same footsteps that you walked in. You carve a new path for them and give them a fighting chance of being successful just like you. If you desire to create a business idea and serve your products and services to the world, you are responsible for carving and shaping and creating all of the details of that business idea so that people can come in and freely and joyfully get what they need. And it enhances their lives and make their lives better because you decided to do what you had to do. Get your Attractive Thinker tools to create your idea, give birth to your business idea, and serve the world and bring joy to people's lives, bring solutions to people's lives. People ask me all the time, you know, I'm in the street, I'm in the market, in the doctor's office. They say, oh, Dr. Toni, what do you do? I solve problems that keep people up at night. I solve problems that keep people up at night. I just summed it all up right there. I solve problems that keep people up at night. Because it's a terrible thing not to be able to sleep and you're pacing the floor, wringing your hands at 3 o'clock in the morning because of something that you went through yesterday, and you're dragging it into today because you didn't get a solution yesterday, and you're struggling and afraid you're not going to get a solution today, and you may not get a solution the next day. That's torment. That's mental anguish and frustration, internal struggles going on. So I solve problems that keep people up at night. Get that mental thing right. Bring that clarity. Shift that perception. Show you the bright side. Give you the tools that you need to get mentally unstuck. Think about that, attractive thinker. Free you up so you can create, because you deserve it. You're good enough. This is why you're here. The curtains on the stage are open and the spotlight is on you. It's your time. Lights, camera, and action. It's your time. You're supposed to be acting. You're supposed to be taking action on your faith, on what you believe, on your ideas. And if you're not, you have to ask yourself, where am I stuck at? Why aren't I doing this? What's in my way? How am I hindering my progress? And get the support that you need through the Attractive Thinker programs and the Attractive Thinker community, so that you can expedite your process and feel good. When you accomplish something, when you create something that's been on your heart for a long time, when you lay down at night, you feel whole. You feel fulfilled. You feel full, like you ate a full meal. You feel content. You don't go to bed with regrets when you've done what you came here to do. Dr. Toni Hatton here, your vision and mindset expert, your break the cycle specialist at theattractivethinker.guru. Visit Create It Now, www.createitnow.theattractivethinker.guru, and work with me for 6 weeks so we can give birth to your ideas, because as soon as you give birth to one, you're going to have the tools also to get other ideas are going to come, and you'll give birth to those too. Remember, my life's work, that's always to make your life better. It is not what you're going through. It's how you're viewing it. Think attractively, and I'll see you soon. Thank you, Attractive Thinker Dewana, for stopping by. It's good to see you.